Is there a way that we can both be... Oh, there we go. There we go. That works. Yeah. Hey, Enraged Liam. Was nice meeting you at Blizzcon, man. Where's the chicken? Where's the chicken? Is he hungry, such a sad Luke? No, he's not. He just has a resting sad face. Can you please explain the ladder at release? I do not understand if there will be a visible ladder at release or just hidden MMR. Yeah. Let's talk about everything. Q&A. Q&A Ama.
Greetings, friend.
Why to Necropolis? Yeah, that's a great question. Zugzug784, welcome back, Grub. Thank you very much, dude. And Chris says, hey Grubby, Taylorman here again. Been working on my human matchup. Almost there. Give me another decade and I'll beat it. Very good, thank you. Let's have a fun stream today. Really looking forward to more of your games. Thank you very much, IP Blood. Is there going to be a reconnect function? Asks Pipe546. This is a known functionality desire. They haven't committed to one at release. It's on the wish list, but there is a prioritization. And it is not priority for release. It's probably a post-release functionality, if anything. Strategist Torino. Is there a release date for Reforged yet? No, there is not. You looked pretty comfortable on stage, says Aki Bogi. Did you ever try for Dutch television? Suits you pretty good. Thanks. Well, I did it last year and I was less nervous this time. I'm glad it looked comfortable. Actually, I'm thinking of starting to stream Aki Bogi. I feel like it is a perfect fit for me talking publicly. Nobody mentioned AI games. Well, this is a known bug. Some people... You did excellent. Thanks, FRTCZ. Nobody mentioned AI games. Well, I didn't mention it. The way I see it, and maybe I'm giving too much credit, since everyone knows AI is broken, they don't cast spells. I'm assuming Blizzard knows as well, because everyone encompasses Blizzard. Therefore, bringing it up is probably not necessary, except if you think that it should have priority over other things. Any idea for Diablo 4 release? Asks Ghost JM94. I do not know. But if I had to guess, I'd say it was quite polished already, and I don't know how much of the world they've built yet. The trailer was freaking awesome. If I had to guess, I'd say 1 or 2 years. Silverwolf says, happy to be here for 9 months and onwards. Can we get a Troll Headhunter Deathcry? I've never lost one. I don't know.
Greetings, friend.
Draxu, 25 months up. Hey Grubby, happy to watch you play Undead, my favorite race. Awesome, dude. Should be coming soon. If I haven't answered your question, please repeat it. You can just press the up key if you have BTTV. I'm kind of trying to catch up with present time. I am trying to answer everyone's, but some take longer than it takes you to ask it. What's the name of the dog? Logan. Heygo11. Hey Grubby, can you tell us if you got any concerns or worries about the remake taken away after you talked to the devs at BlizzCon? Or did you gain some new concerns? Actually, I was less concerned after talking to them. The only caveat I would say is, can they finish everything on time if they are releasing this year? But even if they can't, and there is a chance that they don't have everything they would want to in on time, they're going to post-release support the game. I mean, on the panel they said, let's get ready for the next 16 years. And I recognize that might be an exaggeration, but they're definitely planning for a year after, 2 years after. Tritaniuson asked, did they give an ETA for the Reforged campaign? Yes, at release, not in the beta. Beta. not in the beta. Why do they feel the need to use AT versus RT if they have a larger player pool for matchmaking anyway, asks King Thrawn via global matching. Global matching is a beta only functionality, King Thrawn. After release, we're going back to server segregated matchmaking. Wow, early stream Pog. Did you see Forsen brought Reforged 30k eyeballs on our glorious games? I did not see Hanjab. Did he play Melee? Yeah, he would have had to. Well, that's only a good thing for us. The Ballad Singer, will the ranked system have leagues like HOTS or will it be based only on MMR? I'm a little worried because the old system was MMR only and I think it's completely outdated, thank you. The old system, I don't think it was MMR only, was it? I thought it was win rate related. But at the moment there's almost no system in Warcraft 3 Classic. You could meet almost anyone, or even if there's a system, it gives up the stringent requirements really quickly. The new system is going to change. They are looking at the ranking system for all the other Blizzard games and combining parts that they think are the best. I think it's going to be MMR based, but nothing is final until it is. So don't take my word for it, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything about them doing leagues. Alptram says, will there be skin packs that can be purchased like in StarCraft 2? I don't know their monetization model for skins yet. Scotty, hi, I've played Warcraft 3 campaign at least 5 times, long time ago, and I never played ladder or versus other people. I would like to start learning micro, macro with understanding. Do you have any advice or where to watch something except your stream? Greets from Poland. Scotty, I'm gonna link you Crash Course, which is a 1 hour 45-minute tutorial of many small things that you're not going to be able to find anywhere else in one place. It is a bit of a watch. I made it for Heroes Hearth for Warcraft 3, and it would be good to watch that. I am going to make new guides, but for now I recommend the Crash Course. And thank you for the sub, Deceiver of Fools, HasQT. Any info on why they cancelled the campaign new in-game cinematics? So this is a big question, Ragaba, and I need to answer it comprehensively. Let's make a distinction between cinematics and cutscenes. Cinematics is where you have like a movie that does not use in-game models. It's like the World of Warcraft cinematics that we see, where Sylvanas breaks the helmet for the Shadowlands trailer. That's a cinematic. In-game cutscene is where you have models that are animated with machinima. You take the models and they move and they talk on command and they say their lines, but you're inside the engine of the game. So Warcraft 3 has had some cinematics. For example, Hellscream versus Gramash fight. I see you brought the mighty Hellscream too. That's a cutscene, in-game cutscene. You said they cancelled it. They didn't. So they were all in the baseline game. And what they've done with it is, first of all, every model is new HD model, which means it will look new no matter what. Secondly, they have new camera angles. So instead of kind of an isometric bird eye top-down view, there is now a more zoomed in view often, so that you get a greater appreciation for the detail on every model. And what they did cancel is new voiceovers and retconning some of the stories. So Warcraft 3 stories sometimes is slightly different than World of Warcraft. And they thought since Jaina and Sylvanas are such big characters in World of Warcraft, they could retcon, retroactively construct, I think is what it means, or something. They could expand their role, give them new lines, and so on and so forth. They haven't done that.
Greetings,
they were ambitious about it last BlizzCon, but finally they are not changing the story or the voices much. So the Stratholme we saw at 2018 had cut a lot of the original dialogue. What? How can you even consider that? There's got to be some other way. It's done. Those of you with the will to taste this flan follow me. The rest of you get out of my kitchen. This is completely back in the game, but with the new visuals. So it's neither cancelled nor exactly as they planned last year. Are they aware that Bloodlust size is too big and that the Pit Lord is way too big? Well, it's not something that I discussed with them, but I have read the feedback, and I know that where that feedback was written is something they read. So it's not like during BlizzCon, like suddenly they're telling everyone like we're gonna decrease Bloodlust or Pit Lord size, but it's known. They're at work now, so most likely they are doing that. Is color saturation gonna stay the same? Happy pointed out the units blend with each other. Yeah, everyone pointed out the units blend with each other. So I had a chance to go to the Blizzard office and I spoke to UI, art, campaign, and more people.
Friend.
And before I could even open my mouth about feedback, they said, I said like, yeah, I compiled feedback from my Discord server, Reforged feedback channel. And they're like, yeah, we're already in there. We read it all. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, we read it all. I was like, oh, because my mods helped me to condense the feedback into a concise package. And they're like, yeah, we read it all, but you can still say what you think is important because we listen to everyone and we are in all the channels. And they're like, we already know Mountain King is too small. And they mentioned a few other things. Everyone is talking about the contrast and the saturation and so on. So team coloring is another big one. And that's before I could say anything. No, they don't read our mods channel unless one of my mods is secretly a Blizzard a Blizzard person. Do you know when BlizzCon attendees have access to the beta? Supposedly it was today. Yeah, you should already have it. Every virtual ticket and BlizzCon visitor should have beta now on their associated account. I heard they changed the size of hero like Mountain King to make them more recognizable. They maybe also changed the Dwarven Archmage. Yeah, I think so, Jorot. Dato Any Only says, hey Grubby, I just joined, so I'm sorry if you already answered the question. Do you have a different Reforged version than the one we're able to get right now? I can't choose all the races, thank you in advance. No, I do not, it's just a picture. Are clan options coming soon? And if there are new icons?
Friend.
I don't know when clans are coming. Great job at the Reforged panel. Glad to have you as ambassador for the scene. Yo, thanks, Burek. Thank you, dude. Ghoul looks like a dog zombie. Yeah. You know they call ghouls dogs sometimes in Chinese? And the Zerglings. I think they're kind of meant to be cute like that. Are custom keys on the beta usable? Yes. You have to reconfigure your custom key bindings file, the text, to put it in the Reforged beta folder instead of Warcraft 3 folder. Burek, great job. Oh yeah, Burek, thank you. The Tituro, Lavsver, and Rid Cooley, thanks for the subs, guys. Are they still keeping 4-on-4? Yes. Game modes will be added over the coming weeks for the beta. Can you explain more about global matchmaking, how ping works? Yes, but it should be remembered that global matchmaking, as far as I know, is not currently planned for release, just for the beta. But the way it works, it finds two people and then chooses the most neutral server between them. That means I could play one game and have 20 ping to another Dutchie, and then I could play the next game and have 170 ping to a Peruvian. Did they say anything in response to the worries about the new chat system? Yes, they did, Kobai Law. It's actually... I don't think they said anything publicly, as far as I know. But they heard a lot of feedback about people not being super excited about it. So they're still trying to improve. Well, they're trying to improve it. So personally, right, if I look at this, Chat is over here, right? When you open chat, it opens a small window, to me, which is antisocial. In the other system, it's always this big, and it is very present. It's always there but you do have to enter chat once, right? The new one, you have to click it open. You do see 3 lines of text. You then click it open, and then you can expand it. Now, honestly, I think this expanded view is closer to what it should be. It's not there yet, but it's closer. You have the names, you have the profiles, the pictures, but you can only write a few words per line. And it's still smaller than the original one. Let me turn off the music for a second. So I think if it opened by default on this, it wouldn't be as bad. You can then reduce it, remove it yourself, and that will be okay. Another problem is when you tab out of it and you go back, it's small again. Maybe I always want to have it big, you know? And I think it could still use a little bit more of the dead space personally. But these are things that, like, it's important to give feedback correctly. Don't just say this sucks ass. Or I want the old one. I don't know if they're going to do the old one anymore. But maybe we can try to make this one the best it can be. Will you make new guides after launch of Warcraft 3 Reforged? Will you play campaign on stream or on your own time? I don't think I'll be playing Warcraft off stream at all, Scotty. So it will either be live or not at all. I don't currently have plans to play the campaign on stream. I'm gonna play multiplayer, which is my speciality. And will I make new guides? Yes, I will. I'm waiting for the graphics to look good enough to do the guides so that I don't have to remake them later. Super nice to have you represent the players. You have talent as moderator. Thanks, Guti Swe. Madman Hans said, as I understand it, they said at the deep dive panel, when you summon a hero, you get a random skin, or can you select them? You get a random skin, and it lowers the chances for a superhero skin, like Arthas. So it remains more rare. That's what Brian Sousa said on the panel. And he's the lead artist. But I would like to give feedback that personally, and I haven't given this feedback yet, but I will, that I think it would be great if you could limit the skins that you could get to a preferred list. So let's say I accidentally buy or earn a murky skin for the Death Knight. And I make a Death Knight, and every now and then it randoms into a Murloc Death Knight. And I don't want to ever see it again. I want to be able to toggle it off. Don't use this for ladder. And if you release the skin system without such preferences, sooner or later people will demand it. So you might as well just put it in right away. Just put it in. Will there be esports tournaments for Reforged? I can't imagine that there wouldn't be, since there are already esports tournaments now. And any esports tournament that would hold a tournament for Reforged, post-Reforged release, stands to gain a lot of extra attention and therefore sponsorship return on investment. So the answer is yes, though I cannot guarantee it, but the answer is absolutely yes. Pona says, good to have you back and hear you had a great time. Yeah, we did. It was really, really awesome. And this was so much better BlizzCon than last year as well, in like every way. Except for the fact that Reforged was released last year. But then I already knew about that, right? I don't know if this has been asked yet. How happy was Logan seeing Cassandra and you again? Luckily, very happy. Luckily, very happy. He jumped on us. Did it seem like they would force a release this year, even if it wouldn't be finished? Or were they open to delaying it? I think, Spike, they are very hesitant to delaying it. Even if some of them may think that it might be good if they had a little bit more time. So I think the charm will be in the post-release improvements. What about custom maps or map editor? Are there some changes? Yes, they have added to the tools and repertoire and toys of map makers in the world editor. And if I'm not mistaken, well, I'm not, but if they're not mistaken, editor will release today, Tuesday the 5th of November, together with the Undead on the beta. Do you know if old Warcraft 3 custom maps will be compatible with Reforged? Yes, this is the intent, Irvatar. Old Warcraft 3 custom maps should be compatible with Reforged, but don't expect 0 bugs, just like the main client may not have 0 bugs. You made a map 5 years ago, and you started now in Reforged, there might be a bug. Then you have to fix it, but you made it, so you probably can, right? That's just my guess. It's supposed to port effortlessly, but... Dota Reforged hype. Yeah, man. Yeah, I think first impression for release is important as well for those that are playing Warcraft 3 for the first time. So I would love for it to be ready. I think the next 3 weeks we will learn a lot about Reforged because there are beta patches happening. I think that's their best chance to convince everyone that the graphics can develop and evolve very quickly. Nows Gaming said, I'm sad they were silent about esport plans for Warcraft 3. Like StarCraft 2 has a big league. I would love that for Warcraft. Yeah, but StarCraft 2 is released. Like Reforged is not. Imagine they said, okay, just forget everything you know for a moment, okay? Just all hypothetical. Imagine they said Reforged releases February 2020. And then someone puts a tournament in March 2020 because Reforged is out. Then they push the Reforged release date to April and now the tournament is cancelled. Every player that booked trips, every sponsor that put in money. You see how weird it is to announce esports for a game that isn't out yet? So if they were silent, it is totally the only responsible thing to do. To be silent about esports. Did you read Happy's comments on Reforged and do you think he's justified in his opinion? Well, I think 2 things of it. I think he highlights many of the same concerns other people highlighted about the graphics. But I also feel like I'm wearing sunglasses. When I'm viewing the world through very dark sunglasses when I read Happy's blogs. Maybe he is happy about some things, but it is by exclusion of all else. I remember when I was 18, I used to write blogs like this. I would go on a trip and I would have a really, really good time. Everything went perfectly except 3 things. And then I would write the blog about those 3 things. There was no good food, I had a shitty trip in terms of the flight, and one more thing. And then I would expect that people would be able to extrapolate my happiness about the rest because I didn't complain about it. I really believed this when I was 18. And people thought I had a bad time, and I didn't get it. Because I thought, well, I didn't complain about 15 things. I just complained about 3. So the other 12 things, or 100, were amazing. So then I realized that's not how people read your words. And I grew up a bit on that. And yeah, Hovenberg. So yeah, when I read Happy's blogs, it's a bit... Not thou, Miracoli, Scotty, thank you for the subs, guys. Can you toggle between Reign of Chaos Reforged and TFT Reforged, or is it just TFT Reforged altogether? I don't dare to say anymore, Elite Childs. A year ago we heard that Reign of Chaos and TFT are both a package deal inside Reforged. But then the Reign of Chaos ladder went away, and I don't think we're getting it back. You should probably still be able to start, play the campaign of Reforged. That's guaranteed, actually, no probably. You can play the Reforged campaign. Whether you can still play Reign of Chaos ladder, I'd say that's a big fat no. Whether you can play Reign of Chaos custom games against AI, that I don't know. I don't dare to say. Hey, Grubby, do you know if the icons will be back? Asks KFC manager. And what about the in-game tournaments like they used to be every day? I'm assuming the in-game tournaments will be deleted for a while, and if they come up with a replacement system, that will be post-release KFC Manager. Icons, if icons will be back, I don't know 100% how you mean it, but there will be icons. I don't know if they will be the same, or if you can carry over what you have. I think so. No, it's not a new policy. It's been like that for years, Hanjab. It's not that I don't like playing Warcraft off stream. It's just that if I'm playing Warcraft, I just turn on the stream. I did see they didn't give some players or streamers access to the beta right away, which I think is a pity. A lot of streamers and pro players, I think they would like to try it right away. And I think even if they're smaller in size of their followers or whatever, like they still deserve to get it, because that's a big growth opportunity. Yeah, I think they'll carry over probably, Manager. Did you see anything extra behind the scenes at Blizzcon? Yes. Any word about ladder reset? Well, here's what I know about the ladder. When, like, the ladder now and the ladder at release. Now, we are basically not playing ladder. I mean, we are playing ladder, yes, but there's no ranking and there's no profile, right? No profile, no ranking. But we are playing online against other people. That will remain. Hey, where's the music back? I turned it off before. That's weird. You saw me turn it off. Oh, it is off. Okay. It was actually off and it started again. Anyway. When Reforged is out, they start something called Season 0. That means there is a ladder. You are playing against others. It is measuring your wins and losses. It is making a hidden MMR. And it is using that information to kickstart Season 1. So during Reforged release, you are playing, and I think it's sculpting against who you face. But you do not yet have a rank representation. And then, shortly after, Season 1 starts, and everyone has their rank, and there's a rank system. Brocraft says, hey there, was there a mentioning of the lot of performance and crashing issues in the beta, and if they improve it with today's patch? Yes. Actually, I also understood why some of the desyncs happened, so let me explain. In Warcraft 3 Classic, a unit may shoot fireballs from his belly button, because the animation is not so sophisticated. So there's a mage here, these are his hands, and he's like, Hame Game Ha! And then like from his belly button there's a fireball, right? In the new one, they made it look better. If he Hame Game Ha, it starts from here. The interesting thing is the projectile has a different height. But because it's the same game and you've got HD versus Classic, you can play HD versus Classic in the multiplayer. Right, so it's the same game, same engine, projectiles are in the same place, units, same place, everything's same. Otherwise you can't play against one another. But when they start firing from different places, they had a momentary bug in development where the projectile was actually in a different place in HD. They came up with some smart programming that made sure that the projectile visually appears exactly where it should be based on Classic's rendering of projectiles. But what happens sometimes is there's still a tiny bug there. So when the bug happens and a unit or a projectile is in a different place than it should be, there's a desync. Because it's using, even though we're not now currently playing against Classic users with Reforged Beta, but it still measures everything by Classic's logic, Classic's engine. And then a desync happens, and then you can't do anything for 10, 20, 30 seconds, and then it kicks you from the game. There's also the disconnects that people have been having, the crashes, which is based on they didn't update their NVIDIA graphics driver, or they're using shadows and occlusion, and there's a bug there. You should turn off shadows and occlusion for now. All these bugs, they've been getting data on it, and they're going to try and improve it, obviously. Well, if they get it right, great, and if not, I guess they'll do it next time. Isn't it kind of crazy that they want to make Classic and Reforged compatible? It must be super hard. Well, I don't think it's crazy. Like, let's say if it's a completely different game, then they need to build a new engine from the scratch. That would be crazy. Then they might as well make Warcraft 4. I guess it's the most normal non-crazy that they will be compatible. Otherwise, they will split the player base in two. But that there are challenges, that part makes a lot of sense.
Hey, man.
Thank you very much. You can't just have... They're so cute dogs. You can't just make like models taller and shoot from different places without there being some challenges. Thanks for the sub, PNSL Taraist28. Taraist, we met at Blizzcon, I remember. Hey Grubby, thanks for everything you bring to this community. It was amazing to meet you. Keep up the great work. Thanks, dude. It was nice to meet you too. PNSL, do you know when Undead comes up? I think in an hour. This countdown timer is not right. Shutdown source when visible, no. I think it should be in 56 minutes. Add. Countdown timer. Will you play some before Undead releases? Maybe. I think so. There's just so many questions still. There's so much to discuss from BlizzCon.